Good evening, everybody. Just wanting to get us started on our next geometry unit, which is focused on angles and angle relationships. So what we're doing right now is an angle review. In our curriculum, this comes out of the 7th grade book, topic 10, and that's noted on your weekly agendas. But we're really just going over some vocabulary that you would have done previously and making sure that you understand all of the language that we're using as we move forward. So, what previously learned rules about angles will help me with success in understanding angle relationships. I'm going to fix this because it looks really bad. There we go. Okay, adjacent angles are just like they sound. They're adjacent to one another, next to. They share a vertex and a common side. So there's an example for you here. Okay, angle AOB is adjacent to angle BOC. But angle AOB is not adjacent to angle COD because they have this big space in the middle. Do not share a common side. Okay. Also notice that when I was saying that, angles are named with the vertex letter in the middle. So you start at one ray, that letter, the vertex, the other letter. That's how we name angles. Okay. Complementary angles, okay, are two acute, meaning smaller than 90 degrees, two acute angles that add to form 90 degrees. They make a right angle. Supplementary angles are two angles that add to form 180 degrees. They form a straight line. Okay, so if you look down here, we have a complementary set of angles. Let's say this angle is 45 degrees and this angle is 45 degrees. They make 90 degrees. Okay, maybe this angle is 40 degrees and this angle is 50 degrees. They make 90 degrees. They do not need to be the same, but together they make 90 degrees. That makes them complementary. Supplementary angles, maybe this one is 40 degrees and this one is 140. Okay, so let's say this one was 50 degrees and these are not to scale. Okay, I'm not measuring these right now. I'm just making a point. 40 degrees. Okay, maybe this is 40 degrees and this is 140 degrees. 90 degrees, 180. Okay, and that's always going to be the case. Now, for this lesson, if you're in my class, you received 2 handouts. So here's the second one. Okay, still continuing with angle review. Now, probably my favorite relationship in angles is vertical angles. They're formed when two lines intersect. Okay, the vertical, or I sometimes like to call them facing angles, are congruent. And remember, we learned that congruent means equal, equal value, although not the same. So in this case, angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 because they are facing one another. Okay. angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. So let's say angle 1 is 30 degrees. That means angle 2 is also 30 degrees. You only have to measure one of them if they're vertical because you know that they are congruent. These kinds of geometric laws are going to become the basis for all of your high school geometry. And these kinds of laws then allow us to prove different things in triangles and parallel lines. Um, so we're just learning the basics and the vocabulary of that. Now, for example, okay, we have this giant angle here. It actually gives us some accurate measurements, which is nice. Okay. Angle AED and angle DEB are supplementary. And you are going to write some sentences like this. That means that this angle, AED, the 126, and angle DEB, the 54, together they make 180 degrees straight line. Okay. We also know that angle AEC is congruent to angle DEB because they are vertical. So there's supplementary, complementary, adjacent, and vertical angles. Just as a review, and we'll do some practice.